like in every stage, there's that point of saying like, am I doing this right? Like, am I doing my best? Am I handling this situation right? And I think like we'll all make mistakes along the way, but as long as you're giving it your all, that's all that we can do. Knowing that that's all you're required to do is give it your all and love hard.
Welcome to Mommispace. My name is Brianna Bernhard, your hostess, and I am a new mom. I selfishly created this podcast to get some advice and inspiration from the moms in my community who are doing amazing things while raising their families. I've realized motherhood is hard, but knowing I'm not alone in this call makes all the difference, and I hope you feel refreshed as you listen. Welcome to the tribe. Welcome to Mommispace. This is Bri, and today I'm here with Jessica Gallop. Jessica, welcome to the show.
Thanks. Hi.
Hi. Okay, so we have kind of a fun connection. You're my sister-in-law's sister, so yeah. I just think that's awesome, and I'm excited to talk to you today about being a mom. And just for those of you listening, if you hear any like little baby sounds in the background, that's my little one. Yeah, so just a heads up. You can hear some cute noises. Or maybe bad ones. We'll see. Anyways, so Jessica, I'm excited to talk to you today. You kind of saved me a while back when I had a milk duct emergency, and it was so good to like pull on you because you worked with WIC, right? And
Yep.
were a what's it called? Lactation specialist?
I was a peer counselor through WIC, so I worked at our local health department for 6 years. So I did lots of mom and baby connections with breastfeeding.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you were awesome. And I was so thankful to have you to pull on for that. Okay. So before we dive in kind of to what you do and what your family life looks like, just tell us a little bit about yourself and how many kids you have and where you're located.
Yeah. I'm in Michigan. I'm in central Michigan. I started working for Dynasty Toys last year, and I kind of transitioned into a couple roles. But before that, I worked 6 years in lactation with WIC, and I am a mom of 3. So I have Drew. He'll be 8 this winter. I have Nora. She's 5.5, and I have Jackson, who's turning 2 in a couple of weeks. So a full house.
You have such beautiful kiddos. I love seeing like all of your pictures and stuff. They're just so precious.
Thanks. They're really fun.
Oh, they look like it for sure. Okay, so let's kind of dive in. Will you tell us how being a mom fuels your passions in life rather than taking from them? And maybe kind of go into what you're doing with Dynasty and kind of how your passions play into that, if they do.
Yeah. Well, I think motherhood has actually directed my career through the years, which is really strange. So I actually went to school to be a social worker. So I have a social work degree background. Wow. And then when my oldest was born, I suddenly realized that parenthood had changed me. Whether you wanted to or not, like it just evolves who you are as a woman. And so I realized I wanted something that I could kind of curtail my schedule. And I had a perfect job opening up with the health department doing lactation stuff. And so I was able to use my experience in breastfeeding my own baby to kind of transition into that job. And I did that for 6 years. And then, I was home with him for a year. So I'm doing the math. Yes. So I'm with him for a year. And then I 6 years there. And then this last year, I transitioned into doing some like mom stuff for Dynasty. So I kind of do like a coffee spot on Tuesday. And I just kind of talk about the way that their toys are really fun for moms and parents in our community. And so oddly, like motherhood is kind of picked a career projection actually for all the jobs I've had. So that's been so really great. Fun actually. Yeah.
I kind of wanted to ask you a little bit about your experience as like a lactation coach. How did you even get involved in that? And And what part of it did you like, or what part of it were you drawn to? Because I'm like, that's like a pretty big deal. Not a lot of people just like all of a sudden are like, oh, I want to be, you know, a lactation specialist or whatever. That's like got to come from somewhere.
Yeah. It was actually totally like a God moment. And I know that sounds really silly for probably a lot of your
No,
viewers
that's
to
so
hear.
good.
But so I had I graduated college. I couldn't really find, like, there wasn't a lot of job openings. Our state kind of went through a hard economic period. And so I had paraproed at a school for a year while I was job hunting. And so for that year, we qualified for WIC.
Okay.
And so I was actually in the office and I was talking to their lactation consultant. And I was like, I really love the program that you guys do. Like, I think WIC is a really wonderful program. And I was just talking to her about the way, coming from a social work like thought process, I was just talking to her about the program of WIC. And she's like, actually, our state just qualified and is launching the peer counselor program, which is a national program, but Michigan was just getting it. And our district was just approved for it. And she goes, I think that you would be really good at this.
Oh my
And I was like, really? I was like, that, okay. Like, and I was literally there for an appointment.
Wow.
And she's like, you should seriously call my supervisor, tell her I sent you. And maybe you can come in for an interview tomorrow. And so basically she offered me the job.
No way.
And yeah. And so I literally was like in there within the week interviewing, and I started, and it's a state program, so they send you for a ton of training.
Wow.
And yeah, it just kind of morphed into this amazing career that it had never even really occurred to me. Wow. And it was a grant directed job. So the hours were like really steady, and it was a 2-3 rotation. So 2 or 3 days a week, which was a perfect mom schedule for what I was looking for. And it was just, so that's what I said. It's just like, it was a God moment, which sounds really strange.
No,
but
I totally
in the context of the story,
yes,
it just kind of happened, which is strange, but
that's amazing.
Yeah, that's how I got involved in that.
Wow, that is so cool. Okay, so you said you went to school for social work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So what about that? Like, why did you go into that field? It sounds like you like to help people, and like, I don't know, what is that? How did you get into that?
Yeah, I love the helping profession. I think that's what I loved most about, well, there was a couple things I loved most about the whole field of lactation. One is I love, there's a scripture that says the whole earth, it like shouts the glory of God. And I feel like the more you learn about the functions of our body and the way our systems interact, the more you're like, wow, somebody made us.
Oh, yeah.
And so I loved this. I love the science part of it, but also just the mom-baby interaction. I feel like as a culture, we've really lost like mentorship. Like, we used to be like a society of women that would just really stick together and teach each other the ropes. And we've kind of become a little bit isolated. And so just having somebody in the intimate setting of my office and being able to say, like, this is normal. Like, this is a normal baby behavior. Like, what you're doing is fantastic. Let me try to encourage you and give you some tips on what's happening. And like, just that, like, that sisterhood, I think, of coming alongside somebody is really, really valuable as women. And I loved that part of it.
That is so cool. Well, yeah. I mean, and I felt just a tiny bit of that, and I felt so loved, especially like in the early moments, the early days of having a little one, where you're like, I'm doing everything wrong, or like, what's, whatever.
Yes.
So,
I mean, I think we've all seen too many movies of this like quiet sleeping baby.
Yeah, for sure.
Too many movies and not enough reality.
Yeah. That's so true.
So,
I love that. So is there any way that people can kind of like reach out to you if they have questions by chance? Like, would you be willing to talk to anybody, or?
Yeah, I love that. At some point, I think I'll go back to that,
Mm.
just because I love it. But yeah, like I can definitely answer questions. I'll say that I'm not like a doctor. So
Sure,
if your,
sure.
if your baby has like a cleft palate or something, I'll
Yeah,
definitely transfer you on to a medical
that's
professional.
fair.
But yeah, I'm very happy to talk about mom baby behavior and baby nursing.
Okay, awesome. So, how do you stay inspired and passionate about like what you're doing now?
Um, I think just like I was an older mom, so I didn't have Drew until I was 30. And so for me, I was super ready to be a mom.
Yeah.
And so I'm super passionate about it because I don't know. It was just like I was really longing for it. And so I think it's easy to stay passionate about something you love. And so, yeah, I think for me, it comes pretty naturally. Just kind of my day to day life, right? Like Dynasty kind of reflects my day
Yeah.
to day life and what I'm doing with my
That's so
babies
cool.
every day.
Have you experienced mom guilt? And if so, how do you overcome it in your day to day?
I think we all experience mom guilt in some ways. Like currently with my oldest son, he's like transitioned schools, and he like is having a really hard time with it and really emotional on his way to school, and that's
Right.
horrible because you just are trying to fix everything as a mom. And so I think like in every stage there's that point of saying like, am I doing this right? Like, am I doing my best? Am I handling this situation right? um, and I think I handle mom guilt by just knowing that
Mm,
I am trying my best and I am doing my best, and
right.
that's all that we can do. Like we'll all make mistakes along the way, but as long as you're giving it your all, um, knowing that
Mm,
that's all you're required to do is give it your all and love hard.
that's so good. I love that.
So yeah,
So,
yeah,
as a mom, like full time and getting to do the dynasty stuff, like, has so like obviously every parent wants to leave a legacy for their kids, but has that
yeah.
changed as your career path has changed, or has that remained the same? And if so, what is it?
I think for me the legacy I would want to leave my kids is more of a spiritual one. So I feel like my relationship with God is like central to my life. And it directs everything I do. And so if I could leave that legacy to my kids where they had their own spiritual walk with God, I feel like
That
I
is
could die a
so
happy old
good.
lady.
I
So,
love that. How do you go about
yeah.
like managing your time and taking care of your heart in the midst of like day-to-day stuff? Cuz like I imagine having 3 kids and doing some work from home, like stuff can probably get pretty crazy. Like how do you go about that?
Yeah. I think it's really important to know yourself going into motherhood. Um, I think some people need like a good deal
Mhm.
of quiet time. Maybe they're an introvert. And so like quiet time
Mhm.
overrides sleep. They would rather stay up after their babies go to bed and they would just rather, binge
Yeah.
watch on Netflix. And then and then other people like me, I definitely would rather
Yeah, yeah.
sleep. And everyone always told me like, "Oh, wait till you have
Mm.
kids." And then it was, "Oh, wait till you have 2 kids." And no, wait till you have 3 kids. And I was like, "Nope.
Yep.
Sleep is
Yep.
a priority. When my babies go to sleep, I
That's
go to sleep."
right.
And so I think it sounds really silly to say that sleep is a priority to
Oh,
my heart, but I think like I can be a happier person if I
girl, I
sleep.
am so there with you.
so
Completely.
So, yeah, with my first baby, I was like trying to do it by the book. I was like,
Mhm.
oh, here's what
Mhm.
I'm supposed to do. And then I realized that is
Mhm.
stupid, that we all need to do what we need to do. And so, yeah, I think, and then realizing too, when you do need those moments, whether it's just taking a long hot shower alone, and not being rushed, or, you know, sitting for 5 minutes and painting your toenails. I think just really being in touch with those little moments that you need goes a really long way.
That's really wise. Okay, so I'd like to end with some fun questions.
Okay.
The first would be a favorite product for yourself or your kiddo that you can't live without right now.
Yeah, I would say a baby carrier. Every mom with a baby should have a good baby carrier that fits their body well. So I feel like there are hundreds out there, and they're honestly all cut a different way. So I know I live in a very tiny town, but within an hour drive, we even have like baby wearing share groups where you can go and you can
Oh,
try.
wow.
Yeah, you can go and you can try them on. You can borrow them. And so I feel like getting one that fits your body is so important. Whether it's your,
That's huge.
yeah, whether it's your first baby and you just, want it for convenience, or especially with my second, I felt like, you're potty training your toddler, but yet your newborn still needs to nurse. And so just being able to like have that mobility of like movement. And then my youngest is 2, and I still use it as a back carry, like when we're at the park or at the zoo and I need to contain them. So I feel like a
That's
good,
so smart.
I feel like a good carrier that fits your body well is like my number one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you have a favorite that you use?
Um, I bought the Ergo, but I honestly, if I could redo it, I think I'd buy the Tula because the back is taller. And which is better as they get older. So
Good to know.
yeah,
All right, cool. And is there a
yeah.
favorite holiday tradition you have with your family?
Um, I love the 4th of July and Christmas. They're definitely my favorites. And we just kind of have our routine. My husband actually gets up before the kids and I for Christmas and does breakfast and starts the fireplace. And
Oh.
it's, I
Oh
don't
yeah, because
know,
it's
it's
like
just
probably
really
freezing
special.
there.
Yeah. And my kids just love having a fire, like a real one. So uh,
Oh.
yeah, so that's fun. I love that.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Do you do anything special on 4th of July's?
We go camping every year with my whole family, other than Joshua and Hannah. My whole family goes away yeah, we go for like a 4-day weekend and we camp and hang out. And Hannah and I are from a family of 6. And so we're all just really busy with our kids. And
Yes.
so to get away for that time and
Right.
connect is really good.
Oh my gosh. That sounds so fun.
Yeah, it's super fun.
Okay, and then a piece of advice you'd give to young moms.
I think what I have learned most about motherhood is that culture and instincts will collide. There are so many books, especially if you're trying to breastfeed. There are so many books out there, and everybody has an opinion. And honestly, when you stop and think about it, so many of them are called like counter instincts. And motherhood is the time you need your instincts the most. It is not the time to turn your instincts off. And so I feel like I would tell a new mom to like, it's good to read and it's good to talk to other people. But at the end of the day, what does your gut tell you? At the end of the day, you are this baby's mom. And I don't care what the feeding experts or the sleep experts or anybody else says, you need your instincts. Um, if you want to pick up that baby, pick up that baby. And so, yeah,
That's so
I would say
good.
follow your
That's
instincts.
great. That's so good. I am definitely one who likes to read and likes to like know what I'm, getting into, and so I definitely read a lot
Yeah.
before, and I definitely felt that like kind of pull of like, but this is what it says. It says to do this, and she's not like right on track or whatever. But then feeling this overwhelming sense of
Yeah.
like whatever happens, she's gonna be okay because she's loved, and maybe it's okay to just let go of
Yeah.
the schedule or whatever it is. So I really appreciate
Yeah.
that.
I mean, I think, yeah, talking to new moms in my office, I would just hear them say, like, like, oh, they're just screaming and they're swinging. And I really want to pick them up, but I know I
Yeah.
can't. And I'm like, oh my gosh, who tells you you can't? Like, I just think, like, like, yeah, I'm a big reader too, but like at the end of the day, like this is your
For
baby
sure.
and like you have permission to love this little person. And I think just realizing that, yeah.
Yay. Love the babies.
Oh, yay.
Aww.
Love all
Love
the
the babies.
babies.
Aww. Well,
Yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
So can they find you on social media anywhere?
Yeah, I am on Facebook. So I mean, I keep my Facebook pretty private because I have
Sure.
my babies on there. But I have it open for messaging. So if
Cool.
you find me, Jessica Gallop, you can shoot me a message.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, I'll provide the links in the show notes.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
also, they can find you on Dynasty's page, right? Dynasty Toys.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
That's true. Yeah, yep.
So
You definitely can message through that.
give me a little snippet of like what a Tuesday morning looks like. How does that look?
Yeah, we do Java with Jess, and we just basically have a virtual cup of coffee with our community. So we just come on and we just talk about our kids. We do a couple, like, I love bargain shopping. So we do like a deal of the day where
Come on.
find some like good codes or online sales that we share with our community.
Ooh.
And we do like funny things that our kids have said or would you rathers, and we just have a hoot. And
Oh.
yeah, and we spin and we give giveaways. So we share our laser tag with our community. And we just hang out. So I say it's a virtual cup of coffee with your girlfriends, and we do lots of giveaways. So yeah, that's what we do.
That's perfect. Okay, so moms out there, definitely check that out. That would be a really fun thing if you're free Tuesday mornings. What time does that start?
11 Eastern.
Okay, cool.
Yep. So
awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jessica, for talking with me.
Yeah.
And we'll have the links to all of those things, how people can get in contact with you and join the Dynasty coffee hour people. That sounds
yay. So yeah, that'd be fun.
All right. Well, thank you for talking with me, and hopefully we'll connect again soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a great night.
Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. I hope you got some good nuggets to take with you into your week. If you enjoyed this, I would love to hear from you via review on iTunes. This way we can get our amazing moms' stories out to more people and grow our community so we can all feel more supported. Also, you can check us out at Mommispace on Instagram, Facebook, and Mommispace.com to find out more about our guests and to connect with them as well. If you have somebody that you think would be a good candidate for the show to interview, I would love to hear from you as well. You can email us at mommispace@gmail.com. I hope you have an amazing week. Bless you. You are enough.